لتعزيز اللبنات الأساسية للتحول الرقمي في المنطقة العربية. يساهم معرض جايتكس يوثكس في تنمية المواهب التقنية الشابة. اليوم معانا مختار من يوثكس يونيبرينير وزاركو من مؤتمر جايتكس، واللي راح يقدموا لنا أخبار ومعلومات مميزة عن جايتكس يوثكس، واللي هو حدث حصري للطلاب وسيكون متواجد في هاي السنة في مؤتمر جايتكس. Welcome, Mukhtar and Zarko. Great to have you with us today.
Thanks, Ahmad. Thanks, Mukhtar. How are you?
Hey, Zarko.
You okay? Huh?
Can you introduce and tell us more about the mission of GITEX YouthX and its 4 pillars?
So GITEX is the largest tech week in the Middle East, Africa and Southeast Asia, with about 100,000 plus visitors coming from all over the world, yeah. Close to about 4,500 exhibitors at the show. So everyone in the tech industry comes to the event to meet, network and do business. Now, the YouthX program, it's something new we're doing this year. It's a new initiative of the GITEX team. And what it is, it's basically getting the university ecosystem, the youth ecosystem, right? To come together under one platform, neutral platform, where they can leverage from different opportunities. We've got few verticals around it. The 2 most important ones are the high flyer, as we call it, which is our internship program. And the second one, which is also an important one, is the YouthX Unipreneur program, which we're going to be talking about today. We're also looking at teens in AI, as well as a bootcamp, YouthX bootcamp. So it's basically bringing the entire university student youth ecosystem together under one umbrella during the GITEX Technology Week, which is, by the way, taking place 17th to the 21st of October this year.
Okay. Why YouthX created with GITEX and what is the benefits of this?
Okay, so GITEX YouthX program basically was created because it was one of the missing pieces of the whole puzzle here. The youth.
In terms of youth integration.
Yes, I mean the whole university youth students ecosystem. Hasn't been that much highlighted in the past, and we believe that with GITEX, with the new technology moving in, we want to bring everybody on the table together and offer them the opportunity to kind of like stand out and talk about the importance of the students in our world, because as you know, students are the next
future leaders.
They're the next, right? So period. So they're the future leaders, they're the next Microsoft, they're the next Bill Gates, or whoever you want to say. So I think it was important a bit of the whole GITEX Technology Week to add this element talking about youth.
Yeah, and to create the next inspiring future leaders, the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates from the regional, from UAE's student ecosystem, and from around the world. Yeah.
Please tell us about YouthX Unipreneur program and who is it for?
So the YouthX Unipreneur program, part of the YouthX general program of GITEX, it's basically in partnership with Mukhtar from Unipreneur. He's the founder of Unipreneur INC. Co-founder. So Mukhtar, I'll give this to you to explain a little bit more about the program and why we're doing this stuff. Yeah.
We had this vision of empowering the student, the youth ecosystem, because they always miss out, right? If you go out to big technology events, startup events, there is no exclusive space for universities, whether high school students or university students. There's no exclusive space for them to nurture their true potential, for them to compete within each other and have a fair level playing ground. So that's when we reached out to our good friends like Zarko and team from Dubai World Trade Center with the idea. And incidentally, Dubai World Trade Center team GITEX already had a youth agenda. It was already part of their plan. So it just came in perfectly, and we decided together, Unipreneur Inc. and Dubai World Trade Center decided together to launch something called the YouthX Unipreneur, which will be part of the GFS youth program, which will be a first of its kind and rather UAE's biggest and first of its kind entrepreneurship, innovation and leadership initiative for university students and also high school students. So it's going to be a first of its kind. So students have been speaking to us much before, saying that we don't have an event that exclusively caters. So this is for you, this is for the students, this is for the university ecosystem to come out there and compete with each other and learn, and then eventually go on to become inspiring future leaders who can create game-changing impacts from the UAE for the world.
How are the students going to benefit from YouthX Unipreneur program?
Okay, so very good question. I mean, just to give you an idea of the YouthX Unipreneur program, basically what it is, it's going to have content, so conference sessions, talks from different entities and different speakers. We are planning to have a student activations during the event, and we are also planning to have a pitch competition for the student startups. So more in more depth, I mean, Mukhtar can explain of how the students will benefit out of this platform.
Yeah, thank you, Zarko. And as adding to what Zarko said, answer to the question in terms of benefits for both universities and students is what we are doing here is we are putting world-class universities from Dubai and their students right in the middle of one of the world's biggest tech and business expos that is looked forward from people from around the world. So they are going to be at the center, they're going to be the center of attention amidst government leaders, corporate leaders, Fortune 500 companies who are going to be exhibiting in hundreds, and they're going to be in the midst of all that global tech action. So that enables students and the universities themselves to expose themselves, to promote the university ecosystem, to promote their startups to the world, basically, because the world is coming, and also the world is anyways coming for Expo 2020. So it's a perfect opportunity for universities in the UAE to exhibit their innovation potential and their startups. And moving forward, like Zarko said, we're going to have a first of its kind students exclusive pitch competition. This is only for university students who are currently studying in universities, and they get to win up to, I think, $100,000 and more.
Yes.
And apart from the pitch competition, there are so many other interesting engagements that are going to happen during the course of the 2 days, like the Future Emirati Leader Space. We're going to have an innovation theater, there are going to be keynote sessions, panel discussions. The students are going to be completely taken aback. They're going to be busy, happy, and they're going to get their space to become future leaders. And also the universities get to recruit the next batch of students, the next batch of future leaders, and also give their students a first of its kind opportunity to explore their entrepreneurship, innovation and leadership potential. That's what the universities get.
What about the activities during the event?
We are planning to have a conference sessions. Basically, there will be talks from the universities and talks from some of the key entities from the region and UAE on how important the student engagement is in the entrepreneurship. Yes, correct. So that's one part of the program. Then the second part will be, we're going to have a pitch competition. So the pitch competition will be mainly about student startups go on stage to pitch their solution or their project in front of a panel of judges, which will then, we will shortlist the finalists and we'll go directly into the GITEX Future Stars Supernova pitch competition, where they're going to battle for $10,000 US, or potentially they may win even $100,000 US. You never know. So that's the second part, and the third part is that we're going to do a lot of student activations, and I think Mukhtar, you had some ideas behind it, right?
Yeah, I think we have around 5 or 6, so I think I can count 6 of them, including what Zarko said. Number one obviously is the student pitch competition, so it's going to be a first of its kind pitch competition exclusively for university students. So they're going to get on stage with their interesting idea. It could be just an idea stage startup or just an idea that they have in mind. They're welcome to come on stage and pitch. It could be finally a project, whatever it is, they're welcome. As far as the idea has a great impact, it has good potential, and it's going to do great good, we invite the students to come. So you have the university students exclusive pitch competition, and then we're going to have something called the Youth Talks. So it's like a TED Talks, but for the youth. So we're going to invite young people, some of them students, some of them in their 20s, to come on stage and share their innovative ideas and their solutions that they've been working on. So we're going to have Youth Talks. Obviously, we're going to have keynote sessions by industry leaders, corporate leaders, government leaders. We're going to have panel discussions where the students can directly interact with business and government and corporate leaders on stage. And then number 5, we're going to have more engagements, like a very interesting engagement called the Future Emirati Leader Space, where we will encourage young Emiratis to come on stage and share their national development ideas. How can you use innovation, entrepreneurship and your leadership skills to better the nation and in a sense better the world? Yeah. I think that's the main gist, and we also have something called an innovation theatre. This is the fun element where students get to enact a play on stage on the topic of entrepreneurship, innovation. We're also planning a quiz. So these are the different activities, from the quiz, innovation theatre, talks, panel discussions, the youth talks and so on, and the pitch competition. So these are the kind of activities students are going to be involved in over the course of 2 days between 17th and 20th of October 2021 during
the show
GITEX.
runs for 4 days, and
yes.
Then the students will be still active on site to meet and network with other people that will come in there, and visitors and investors and corporates that will come to the show, and they will have the opportunity to actually meet face to face with some of these key stakeholders and leaders in the tech and even non-tech sector.
And that's the most important point. You never know when a student, or the universities, who they may bump into, because this is literally one of the world's biggest tech and most looked after, sought after tech and business events. So students are right there in between corporate global leaders, venture capitalists, million-dollar investors. So you never know who you're going to bump into, who you're going to be mentored by, maybe you're going to meet your next investor or your next co-founder or your next mentor at the show from different parts of the world.
Correct. How can students continue to benefit from the program post-event?
That's a very interesting question, and in fact we were addressing this question even before the event was launched, because as part of the vision of Dubai World Trade Center and the team GITEX and also Unipreneur Inc. and our parent company One and Only International's vision is that we would want to continue this, right? We just don't know, we want to do a great event, and then from the event we would want to continue doing a lot more activities. So number one, as part of a KPI, if you could say, we would love to see at least 5 to 10 student startups launching through the event. So maybe in a week or two or month after the event, we would want and we would help students create their trade licenses from Dubai, create businesses, and then eventually graduate as employers. So that's one. And also obviously to the other programs like the High Flyer, we would also, apart from being employers, we would also like to see students join big companies and make an impact within those companies.
Yeah, that's the High Flyer.
High Flyer, yes. So that's the other vertical of the GITEX YouthX program.
But I think to add on Mukhtar, we're gonna basically track after the event what the students have done, who have they met. As I mentioned earlier, we're gonna have one winner of $10,000, and we want to see what the student did with this money, and we're just gonna track their progress. So we're gonna probably do events post the event to reconnect with the community, to reconnect with the universities, and track the progress of how the students benefited out of the event after the show. So we will keep on engaging the community post the event and start actually getting ready for the 2022 event.
Absolutely. The real work begins post the event. And Unipreneur is an organization. It's like a learning, development and networking platform for university students and high school students that will be running throughout the year. Yeah. So after the event is when the real work starts, and every month we will be organizing in coordination with the Dubai World Trade Center and other global entities. We will be running cohorts, we will be running networking sessions, learning development sessions, pitching sessions and so on and so forth for students to continuously be engaged with the business and tech ecosystem. So we're not going to let go, so it's going to continue.
What type of careers that GITEX YouthX prepare the students for?
Okay, so the types of careers that this program will create, it's diverse, yeah. So because the GITEX Future Stars covers different sectors, we cover about 19 sectors of the show. So basically what we're trying to create here is entrepreneurs, founders, okay, who will then grow their company into the different sectors. Either that is AI, blockchain, fintech, smart cities, IoT, education, healthcare, whatever that is. Even we have a creative economy part, so it can be fashion tech, music tech, art tech, sports tech, you name it. The students, these are the types of careers or sectors that they can choose from when they move forward post the show. It really depends on what the student startup is showcasing, what his project is, what his idea is, and that's what we're doing. What we're trying to do is to take them to the next level, to make them business leaders, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, Mukhtar, if you want to add something.
Yes, I mean, perfect. Zarko nailed it. I mean, GITEX Future Stars itself, or GITEX as a whole itself, in terms of diversity, in terms of career diversity, the event is already so diverse. Zarko mentioned everything from the creative economy, fashion tech, deep tech, industry 4.0, engineering. There's nothing you could say that is missed out. So whether you're an art student or an engineering student or a business student or you're even a medical student, you'll always find something interesting to look at or to be part of in GITEX Future Stars. In terms of career, we are looking at creating two things. Number one is business leaders, number two is corporate leaders. You come to the event and we enable you to start your business. We enable you to fulfill your entrepreneurship dreams, innovation dreams, right? So we would want you to graduate as an employer, right? And again, in different industries. There are 19 industries that GITEX said that Zarko mentioned. Best is for you to look at the GITEX website or the GITEX Future Stars website if you want to see which sectors, the industries GITEX covers. And then apart from creating a business leader, we'd like to create corporate leaders where you can work for big companies or even you can work for startups and grow up the ladder and become a corporate leader like yourself. So we always say you can either aspire to become a Steve Jobs from Apple or a Sundar Pichai from Google. One of them is an entrepreneur, the other one is an entrepreneur, and both have massive impacts on the world.
But out of curiosity, I mean, the startups, when they're startup, right, they can actually work with Microsoft and work with Oracle.
Absolutely.
So sometimes the companies acquire these startups.
Yes.
So I mean, that's a great opportunity for.
Yes, this is what has been happening in the startup ecosystem in the VC world, in the investments world. You have small ideas, small startups, which is started by maybe 20-year-olds, teens, and it's acquired by big companies. So yes, those kind of partnerships is what is bound to happen. Yes, yeah. And that is what GFS is setting the stage for such partnerships to happen right there in the month of October 17th to 20th at GFS.
Yep.
Do you have a vision for the future workforce in the Middle East based on the program, the GITEX YouthX program?
So the YouthX Unipreneur program is basically designed to actually create, to make these students start up their businesses, right? So their students start up, the next thing is to scale up and move into creating their own business, right?
Or create an impact in a company.
Yeah, and then once they created that business, then the point is to start hiring people. So they're gonna need marketeers, they're gonna need salespeople, they're gonna need designers, whatever they need to have to grow this company. And I think this YouthX Unipreneur program is designed to do that and to add to the economy of the region and UAE and Dubai and
yes,
this part of the world as well, right? So
and absolutely, and no better place than Dubai than UAE, because the ecosystem, Dubai and UAE's ecosystem, has everything for an entrepreneur, for a young entrepreneur, for an innovator to thrive and become a future leader, create future impacting companies. You know, everything is here. This is the global hub, and I think Dubai and UAE has proved itself enough to the world. And UAE startup and innovation ecosystem is fast growing to be one of the most sought after, one of the ecosystems that's creating a lot of success stories. There are so many around, but I think two examples that we can discuss about is Kareem and Souk. Their successful acquisitions create ripples around the world in the VC, in the investment, in the tech ecosystem.
So for those who don't know, Souk was bought by Amazon, right?
Yes, and Kareem was acquired by Uber.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are some of the examples, and I'm sure down the line, just in a few years, you'll see a lot more stories like this coming out, success stories from Dubai, from UAE, because thanks to Dubai's leadership and the UAE's leadership, they have set the ecosystem, invested in the ecosystem, and now it's for us to work and benefit out of it. So yeah, in terms of the Middle Eastern, the question with regards to career opportunities and for students from the Middle East, this is your chance, is no better time than now to make use of the ecosystems that the UAE and countries like UAE and Dubai have created, make use of it and go on to become the next Kareem and the next and the Souk.
Finally, how can the students sign up, and are there any conditions to participate?
Sign up. So it's usually the universities who help support the students to come on board, because obviously students, to participate at the event, there is an investment required.
From the university?
Yes. So that's why the university needs to take charge and support their students to be part of this program. They need to basically take a space at the event to physically be present, to exhibit, to showcase their solutions, because if you don't have a space, nobody will know what you guys do, right? And
yeah, absolutely. So the universities need to invest in their students, in themselves,
correct.
And they need to exhibit and sign up. The best thing is to visit the website GITEXfuturestars.com, and where you will find access to contact information. Reach out to us, yeah.
We'll help you.
So yeah, reach out to us, reach out to GITEXfuturestars.com, reach out to the contact numbers therein, and there's a sign up form, there's a registration form at the GITEX Future Stars website.
Correct.
And that should lead both students and universities to sign up with us, yeah.